The last born of 4 children, Esther Kalenzi grew up as a tomboy with brothers who went out of their way to ensure that she was protected. But over the years, this tomboy lifestyle has given way to a stylish young woman.
I think it sort of gave me a tough skin, but then also it's only in the past few years that I started worrying about, oh my God, what am I going to wear?
Esther's father is an accountant and her mother an administrator.
You have no chance to slack because when you look at them with the example that they have set, it's so difficult.
Before she started the project 40 Days Over 40 Smiles, the 27-year-old was gainfully employed. But the job was suffering because her energy and time was dedicated to her passion.
I was spending most of my time trying to get donors, trying to get people hooked onto 40-40, and then the job had mainly become a source of income.
Esther finally resigned in August 2013 to give her 40-40 project as much time as she could. Reminiscing over her first job after university, Esther recalls how difficult it was to secure the job.
So even if there's someone who's going to make a call on my behalf or send an email, I don't want that job because if ever anything goes wrong, it will be, oh, because she's whoever's friend or what. If something goes right, again, it's them. It will never be me. So I made a decision that if it meant being unemployed, I did a lot of work. I think God was just preparing me. I did a lot of unpaid work for the longest time, and I was comfortable.
And when she quit to focus on 40-40, her family eventually supported her decision.
I think they were very skeptical at the beginning, and they had every right to be, but I was very unmoved. I was like, you know, a rock that has been put there. So I think at the end of the day, even they started to think about it, and they're like, if this is what makes her happy.
40 Days Over 40 Smiles was born out of Esther's deep desire to give back to the community. She opened a Facebook page and asked people to do something different beyond fasting during the Lent period of 2012.
That Easter weekend, as opposed to 40 lives, we touched over 150 from 2 orphanages, and that was the beginning of 40-40.
The organization has grown in the last 3 years with lots of support from individuals, groups and some organizations, but it has not been smooth sailing. There were those who frowned on their work.
I've had so many people give excuses like, but we have our own dependents. Oh, don't you have your own family to look after? Why are you looking after other people? But the measure of love can't be your family and friends, because that one is almost a given. You're expected to.
According to Esther, 40 Days Over 40 Smiles is a charity organization whose aim is pretty simple.
We would love to make children who are ordinarily forgotten smile. It's in the form of putting a roof over their heads. We've put up a playground for children before. That's what will make them happy. If they have health issues, and we can bring the health facilities closer to them.
40-40 has touched over 700 children's lives, and that's not counting their parents, other children and adults who learnt a lesson or two along the way. The others simply came for the fun that the 40-40 activities bring along.
I have no skill in, fundraising or social work. It has all been learning.
In their work, the 40-40 team has encountered a number of dishonest people who want to squeeze the initiative for all the publicity they can get out of it.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. Come to my office on Monday with a presentation. So I'll rack my brain, spend the whole weekend making the PowerPoint of the century. Come and present, and he's like, oh my God, this is mind-blowing. What I'm going to talk to, the person in charge of CSR or whatever. This will be our project. Suddenly he's not picking your calls, not replying emails, number is getting busy. Like, I'll give an example of someone who wanted to give us something, but they said they only would after confirming space in a newspaper for the handover.
But Esther soldiers on, mainly because for her, this is not a job but a passion she could undertake for free.
Would love for there to be a huge 40-40 movement and other movements that are creating positive change in the country using their resources. In the last 2 years, 40 Days Over 40 Smiles has won various awards. One for vocational service, another for Best Social Media Campaign, the Tumaini Children's Award, the Social Justice Award and the Heroine of the Year Award. It was even more humbling because, like, the past winners, Dr. Lukuya, like, I look up to him. Like, if anyone asked me for a Ugandan hero, he would be the first person on my mind. And here I am receiving an award barely 2 years into the work that I have done.
And now they have been nominated for the Commonwealth Youth Awards for excellence in development work. But Esther has fears.
I don't lose sleep at night and say there's going to be a day when we don't have funding. But I feel like there might be a time when maybe people stop believing, or the volunteers have gotten so busy with their lives, and then I'm stuck there and I'm thinking, so what's next, yeah?
Esther went to Shimoni Demonstration Primary School, Nabisunza Girls School for O-Level and the Aga Khan High School for A-Level. She then pursued a degree in mass communication at Uganda Christian University, Mukono. She is now pursuing an online master's degree in education, gender and international development at the University of London. In the last 3 years of running 40/40, Esther has developed into someone who is not afraid to speak up.
Stop being lazy. Get up and do this. You don't have to always be about the money. Even if you're making 10 million now, you might get more satisfaction from following your passion than you ever would with that paycheck. Because at the end of
Josephine Karunji, NTV.